Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run plus. We're currently on chapter 19 of 30. It is entitled The Foot of Apollo. So the Gauntlet of Apollo follows this chapter, and it will be the boss fights. But for right now, we've just got some quick platforming to do before we face another enemy that is not as challenging or as spam happy as a siren, but prone to the same sort of difficulties as far as not being able to launch this enemy and very quick reprisals on her part, where you think that you might have an upper hand. The game slaps you down and firmly says that no, you do not get an upper hand. It's this shit enemy here. It's the Amazonian. And before you fight it, you're going to fight 2 harpies. And you're going to fight a total of 6 harpies. Now, you can get up to where she is before she even comes down using the high jump, XX, circle, circle, quickly. And she's in an unaggroed state up there. But if you do the shield plume on her, you can deal damage to her and get her in a stun, after which she'll wake up and she will aggro. But what happens is there's an area to the left behind that black barrier where she tends to get stuck back there, and it's difficult to take care of her with the wall interfering. So we're going to instead camera whore, meaning that we're going to use the camera in a whorish way to get what we want. So when she drops down, you want to have your rage ready so that you can fire dump on her, hit her, and then throw her as far to the right as you possibly can. And then what you want to do is quickly get to the black barrier. It doesn't seem to matter too much, but just do not let her get on the screen. And the nice thing about this enemy compared to the siren is that when it's off screen, it doesn't cause a whole lot of hijinks. So it's now a matter of grabbing these pest enemies way too many times than they deserve to be grabbed, and just killing 6 of them, and then you can face her. There's no checkpoints. This is a no damage video. And the siren fight wasn't actually too bad. It was this fight that gave me a lot of hard ache because of the I think it really is the reprisals and her quick attacks. She attacks very quickly, and she cannot be launched either unless you use the Amulet of Ouroboros, but that's not really a launch. And if you do have her in the air and she's not in the amulet slowdown, if you try to grab her, she will retaliate just like the siren does. So you need to block. If that accidentally happens, you won't take damage. But we have her now out of here. And if all you want to do is just stand there and guard and wait for the QuickTime event, which is just a random button press of the 4 face buttons, that's all you need do. Now, there's a temptation here after you win the QuickTime event to see how quickly she recovered. So if you did try to do a combo or anything, or heaven forbid try to do the Amulet of Ouroboros, you would get hit because she recovers way too fast. And she can do a random discard of her weapon, even though she doesn't lose the weapon. But you need to watch out for the heavy barrage of arrows that can come down after she does that tell where she discards the weapon. But I really just find this enemy too difficult to respond to. It's too fast for a Kratos that is too slow. They've added, ever since God of War 3, they've added weight to Kratos' movements and his jumps and his roll. And I hate it. Now, why did they do this? God knows. I don't know. The game director is Stig Asmussen. I don't know why he accepted that, but the combat has always been very fast. Kratos has always been fast. In 1 and 2, he's very fast. And then they decided to give him this weird... See, you can't launch this fucking bitch. I thought I could launch her, you know? Dumb old me thought I could launch her. Apparently she's too heavy for Kratos. But yeah, this added weight, I hate it. The combat roll suffers from it. You can't do the combat roll as fast. His jump is strange now. You can't jump as high, and it's a letdown. It really is. But I still will hold to the fact that even given that, the series didn't start to do its decline until this game, I don't think, because I think that the third game is a brilliant game, and it's a masterpiece. It's a flawed masterpiece, but it's an utter, like, 10 masterpiece. The first three games are just 10s, you know. Don't think that, oh, I launched her there for some reason, but who knows. You know, these fucking weird things that this game does. But don't just think that since God of War 3 is modern that it still can't be a masterpiece, you know, just because it came out in 2010 on the PS3 and the other ones were the masterpieces because they're the older ones. Don't think like that, because it's just not right. But when you play God of War 3, I see a contemplative journey and a difficult quest and just a beautiful a masterpiece of landscapes and darkness and a decent story and just a great old time. I mean, but with this game, I don't begrudge it too much, because in comparison to what came after, which is just utter trash with the new game, I still kind of cling to this game as a remnant of a lost genre, because they do not make these types of games anymore. They're gone. So it's sad, but what else can a person do? You know, just not play any more games ever, or just play the games that exist. And I'm just going to play the games that exist. You know, that's what this channel is about at this point, because I just I don't like what they did with the game. They turned it into a different game. You know, where you're rowing a canoe in a lake and talking to a kid, and you're just going places and doing things, and it's just I don't know. I don't think that it needed to do that. Okay, so anyway, we're now coming over here to where these sirens are. You cannot skip this fight using the high jump. I tried to skip it. Even if you could skip it, I probably would not have let myself skip it. But if you want to build some easy rage on these two sirens, so it's two sirens. We've never seen two sirens before at the same time. You can use the chest, this red chest or the health chest up and to the left, to build quick rage, and then come down and do as you please over here. Now, do as you please, that's pretty open to interpretation. You can start in with the Captain Planet glitch. That's great. I didn't want this to be just me chain grabbing the sirens. So if you don't know, when there's two of them and nothing else, or two of them and other enemies, if you get one stunned and then you grab her, she'll do a shout that will incapacitate everybody else in the room, and then you can grab the other siren if that's what you want to do, and just go back and forth and back and forth. Like, it will go into that in a minute. I don't want to say it's going to devolve into that, because that takes away some of the grace of what this is, but it does turn into this just this back and forth sort of boring strategy of it's safe though, it works, and it's I don't want to not show people this because a safe strategy that works against a spam happy shit of an enemy is something that I think a lot of folks would appreciate. But that's it. This is it. What's on display here. Now you can, if you want to make this go quicker, you can hit them 1 to 2 times if you feel that it's safe. That is to say, if you feel that you're not going to take too much time up. But I think 1 to 2 hits is a good alternative to just going up to them and grabbing them. But just don't let too much time pass. Is the thing. So I was satisfied with this footage because it was done no damage, and it was done in this way that I didn't want to fully do until like half of it was done, and then in the beginning you saw that I did the CP glitch and everything else, and I fought with them in a normal manner. But it shouldn't take too long, but that's a good strategy against this enemy. You can't ring this enemy out either anywhere, and it's strange that you can't skip the fight either. Even if you interact with the mechanism and drop the block and get up there, what happens is the world just does not spawn up there until these enemies are taken care of. I wouldn't have begrudged anybody to skip these enemies because they were pretty damn good. They were fine in God of War 3. They had a certain amount of temperance to them. They were fair. You could get hit with a mean swipe sometimes and call it bullshit. But it's just a ruination. It was a lost focus when they were trying to clean up the game after Adam Sessler and several other people complained that the game was too difficult on the Trial of Archimedes. People overlooked the fact that there was a siren and it was out of control. I guess since it was in the Trial of Archimedes, it was, I died over there too. How do you like that? I died in that first platforming. I was doing so well and then I died. So, but I'm going to skip these bugs because they're worthless. But they were covered. I mean, they were covered in the Trial of Archimedes in the sense that that fight got cleaned up. However, nobody addressed the fact that the main reason that trial is so difficult is because those spam happy pieces of shit are there, and there's 4 of them, and they're impossible to fight with anything else, pretty much. Okay, so this first Amazonian, I'm gonna show you how to ring this one out. It's very simple. You can get double rage on these 2 chests by hitting it like this, and then you want to go down as much as possible, bait her down, stun the Centaur if you like, and then wait till she gets stunned, and then you want to just throw her off the platform. It's very easy to do that. As far as, it's not hard to ring her out, but getting her close enough to the edge can be a little difficult, but you can drag her down pretty far. So I would say if you don't get her wrung out with those tactics at first, when there's just 1 Centaur, you might not want to bother trying to ring her out when there's 2 Centaurs. So just reset. You start right on top of the bridge there. And then this enemy, I think this enemy is really cool. I love seeing this enemy, but they've reduced this enemy to just getting the player to just reverse these attacks that it does with a series of random button presses. And they're easy too, because in the previous game you had to do swipes, like rotational swipes. In this game it's just a button press, so it's easier. Now you can do traditional combat on it, but it's going to continually do this at you. So a lot of the damage that you do it is going to be damage that is very easy to get. And you don't even have to do traditional combat on it if you like. You just walk away from it and just stand there and wait for it to charge you. Believe you me though, when their staff or their whatever that is, their mace, staff mace. But when it changes colors and it glows, it does unblockable moves. So they really fucking mean business when their weapon glows. And in the Trial of Archimedes, look at that. Grab the fucking bastard. Shit. In the Trial of Archimedes, I think they keep his moveset so that he does have those unblockables. But I find it funny that the Wraith, or the Wraiths that they put in the Trial of Archimedes at the end, they change their moveset so that they don't spawn those ghosts of themselves or whatever, the copies, the clones. It's just them. When they do that animation to spawn in their phantoms, they never come. It's just a taunt. It just turns into a taunt. So if they went to that length, I mean, why didn't they remove the Centaur's unblockables? You know, maybe they did. Maybe I misremember right now. But they did the courtesy of not having the Wraiths summon his phantoms. Why? Well, it's a small room. It's a really small room, and it has spikes on the walls, for fuck's sake. That fight, it was just a mess. You know, first of all, why isn't there a checkpoint? Why do you fight in such a narrow little area on that second sequence with difficult enemies and enemies that you have to run from? And why are there fire jets that can hit you too? It's absurd. But anyway, we're now in the furnace. I'm gonna make sure I don't get hit over here. And I think we just have a couple of minor things to do before we go over to the gauntlet. And it is a gauntlet. It will be a no damage video, just as my last one was. And I haven't done it yet, but I do want to hold on to the shield. There's a section where it promotes that you hit a Megara that's on a roof with javelins, but it can be done not by using that, and which will enable you to keep your shield. So we'll see how that pans out. You never want to give up your shield if you can stop it from happening. It's just too valuable. You know, not only does it have those great moves, the shield plume, not only does it do the Captain Planet glitch, but it can allow you to skip sections and break sections. So it's a great tool. And to my shame, I did get hit over here. So there's at some point there's an edit, but this is the last part. You've got some more parasites. You've also got see that large sack up and to the left? It has a lot of HP, and it's blocking your hand hold, so you can't get up there quite yet. You can't skip this with, I don't believe you can skip it with the high jump. You can try. I did try to go on the chest and started on the chest, but you have to latch onto a rope that's really high, and I just could not do it. But that is the 19th chapter. I will see you the 20th by and by, and we will take on the bosses. It will be a complete boss video, and that will take place, like I say, in the next video. See how much HP this thing has? It's ridiculous. What is this, another boss fight? I know my blades are at level 1, but come on. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.